Wherever you go, I was in Busoga yesterday, and you would think the people of Busoga are the most tired, but go to northern Uganda, go to western Uganda, come to the central. They are thinking the same. Everywhere we go, there are masses and masses of people. Something that has not happened in our generation. There's so much power out there. But like one advert told us, power is nothing without control. Power is nothing without guidance, without direction. The Pan-Africans keep teaching us that we should not agonize alone. We should organize. Because the future belongs to the organized. If we don't organize, we will continue moving in circles. So you here are the organizing wing. There's so much power out there. There's so much support out there. But how do we harness it? It is important for us to build and not destroy. Let us learn from our recent experiences, the 2021. I was in Busoga yesterday, and as you all saw, massive, massive support. But have you asked yourself how we ended up not getting enough MPs from Busoga? Yes, there was massive rigging. Yes, for example, comrades like Mase Warukamba were clearly rigged out with all their forms showing her win. But she was rigged out. But also the infights played a huge role. I'm requesting of you, comrades, when we go out there, we have a duty. Even if you, your individual self, you're not winning for yourself, you're winning for the people of Uganda and for your party. So let us learn from our history if we must do better.
Omusumba ye n'asaba n'agamba bagawugule gagende wakumuluma 13
era mbyagalira ddala pulezidenti wange
be twasaba bajje batusabire tebakoze eki tebalabise.
Parliament is not a platform for business. It's a place where we talk about issues that concern the common person.
Kabaka yazala emiyupi abemiyupi ne basakanya. Kabaka yazala mara mtaa, kabaka yazala emiyupi mtaa.
nze ndowooza nti ekibiina kyetaaga kikyetaaga mpuuga.
Basala kunyonyola abazifuna sente zo zifuna
Sente nzirinze. Abamutuufu okkaayana ng'awulidde waliwo emiliyoni 5 ezitategeerekeka.
I had never seen them made into beggars. Senior citizen begging on the sotia.
This because we did not start it, ladies and gentlemen. No. It was started by our forefathers. Some people actually doubted General Museveni as early as 1986. Now they're proving themselves right. We were convinced by the lies of General Museveni. Our parents were. Some of us held him in very high regard. I mean, we have comrades amongst us who were named after Museveni. I always tell my friends I was named after Robert Mugabe because he was a prized revolutionary back then. When I was born, my parents thought that the person to name their child after was Robert Mugabe. See where he ended up. Our leader of opposition was named after Yoweri Museveni. But see what Museveni turned into. So this, we did not start it, ladies and gentlemen. We are inheriting a struggle. We give credit to the great freedom fighters like Paul Kawanga Semogedere, like Dr. Kizza Besigye. They started it. Our duty is to end it. Our duty is to finish it. That is what we must promise ourselves. Freedom in our lifetime. Democracy in our lifetime, the rule of law in our lifetime, and we must achieve that by the grace of God. But even if we say by the grace of God, we must know In the Baganda culture, they say Katonda ayamba yeyambe. God only helps those who help themselves. My mother used to teach me that God can only do for you what he can do through you. What God cannot do through you, he will not do for you. So it is your duty to let God help you using you. I'm very glad we are here and we all seem to understand that. So I'm trying to drive a point that we, much as we are here, much as we are the National Unity Platform, we are actually not a political party. I know that sounds convincing, but I'm very serious. We are not a political party. We just have a political party. We are people power. We are the representation of those masses yearning for change. And we started out as a team of people, the men, the women, the young, the old, the educated, the uneducated, the city dwellers and the rural dwellers, all Ugandans from all walks of life coming together with a vision of creating a nation, the same vision that was present at independence, the vision of our forefathers, creating a nation that would make life better and admirable for the next generation. We are that generation that was supposed to realize it. We've not yet realized it. That's why we're not giving up. So we are not as small as a political party. We are a representation of a cause. We are people power. We introduced the National Unity Platform as our political wing. And for us, the National Unity Platform is the organized wing of people power. The thoughtful wing of people power. The leading wing, the guiding wing of people power. Everybody out there is people power. We must never lose that. There's been so many political parties that have come up. There was the Democratic Party. It was a representation of democracy, the representation of the ideals of the people. You know how it ended up. There was the UPC, there was the FDC. You know how it all ended up. So we must not be another opposition political party. No, we are a cause. We have an agenda. We have a desire. We have a dream, which dream is not only limited to we the leaders, but a dream of the people of Uganda, the young and the old. So they are looking at us with a lot of hope, which hope we must never disappoint, ladies and gentlemen. So knowing that we are not just a political party, it should also inform us that this is actually not politics as usual. This is a revolution. It's not politics as usual. Because if it was politics as usual, we would be free people, freely doing what we are entitled to do under the law. But we cannot achieve that. So we must treat this as the real struggle that it is, as the revolution that it is. And we must not settle, especially we the leaders. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, a revolution or a struggle cannot succeed on only admiration alone, or on only the hope alone, or only the tiredness alone. Wherever you go, I was in Busoga yesterday, and you would think the people of Busoga are the most tired, but go to northern Uganda, go to western Uganda, come to the central, they are thinking the same. Everywhere we go, there are masses and masses of people, something that has not happened in our generation. There's so much power out there. But like one advert told us, power is nothing without control. Power is nothing without guidance, without direction. The Pan-Africans keep teaching us that we should not agonize alone. We should organize. Because the future belongs to the organized. If we don't organize, we will continue moving in circles. So you here are the organizing wing. There's so much power out there. There's so much support out there. But how do we harness it? It is like the rain. This tent out here keeps flowing rainwater. But if you don't put, yeah, if you don't put gutters, the water will fall everywhere. But if you put gutters, we shall be able to guide our water to a tank or wherever we want that water. And ultimately, we shall harvest that water. The support that people have given us, that is their role. The chanting, the waving, the votes that they give us, and all the massive nationwide support, that is the wealth, that is the power that they give us. That is their role. What is our role? Is to bring it together, to harness it, to collect it, to make sure we bring it to a logical conclusion. What is that logical conclusion? Kicking out the dictator, but not only that, but building a new country, building a new leadership. Who are those leaders? You, nobody else. So we have a big duty to bring that resource together, that support together. That is our duty here. That is why we are organizing. Because you will go to Karamoja, you will go to Guru, and you'll find young men and women, even old ones, supporting us massively. But if we don't find a way of harnessing that support, it will pass like that. That is why we are here. And we are organizing not only for an election. Yes, we are a political party that organizes for elections, that organizes for democracy, if there's democracy. But even with this deceitful semblance of democracy, we can maximize it when we organize, because ultimately, even if Museveni dies tomorrow, ultimately we shall go to the polls. Ultimately, there will be elections. Even if they do their crooked business of the son trying to overtake the father, we shall finally keep both of them away, or the whole family. But even when they tell us that there was divine intervention and the entire house burnt up, still we would have to go to elections. That is why I am calling for constant organizing, so that when that time comes, whether it comes tomorrow or next week or next year, it finds us ready and organized. So you comrades are the organizing wing of us. Think as if we don't reach what we want to reach tomorrow, we'll die. But imagine that we are going to live forever, because this party is going to live forever. It's going to live beyond me, beyond you. It is for our children, our children's children, and the next generation of Ugandans, especially if we start it on a moral ground, if it's worth following. And that is possible, comrades. So let us organize our people. Let us organize them for two things: a revolution and a revolution. What do I mean? A revolution even before elections, because it's possible. But even when 2026 comes, before Museveni is kicked out, let us be ready to take him to the polls. Let us be ready on our side to ensure that every T is crossed and every I is dotted. So let us organize, organize, organize. Ensure that in your region, in your constituency, in your area of jurisdiction, there's absolute organizedness. I must add that we might organize, we might build structures, which Museveni vulgarizes all the time, but if we are connected with our people, then we can outsmart them. Like we have done in the past. We can do it even smarter and better and get better results than we got last time. So comrades, let's put the idea of organizing in our mind. But you guys are the harvesters. Your duty is to harvest that support, because if we don't harvest it, then we are not doing a good service to our country. I want to call upon you leaders, especially you, the coordinators, the focal people, and the registrars. Avoid infighting. The Secretary General mentioned it, and I have to emphasize it, that we have been plagued with infights sometimes brought in by prospective candidates. Oh, I want to run in this area, so nobody else should be working with the registrar or the coordinator. You are working for the people of Uganda. You are working for the party, not for an individual, not for a candidate. We have not selected candidates, and even when candidate selection comes, you know the process that we go through. So if you as a coordinator who's supposed to be serving other people, you reduce yourself to serving one person, that is corruption. And you know exactly how we deal with corrupt people. Comrades, it is important for us to build and not destroy. Let us learn from our recent experiences, the 2021. I was in Busoga yesterday, and as you all saw, massive support. But have you asked yourself how we ended up not getting enough MPs from Busoga? Yes, there was massive rigging. Yes, for example, comrades like Mase Warukamba were clearly rigged out with all the forms showing her win. But she was rigged out. But also the infights played a huge role. I'm requesting of you, comrades, when we go out there, we have a duty. Even if you, your individual self, you're not winning for yourself, you're winning for the people of Uganda and for your party. So let us learn from our history if we must do better in the future. I will remind you that now that we're tasking you out there officially, you are official targets of the regime to compromise, to intimidate, and to buy. You will remember that when we started the People Power Movement, before we had coordinators, we were like water. We were amorphous. The regime did not know where to touch. But when we announced our coordinators, then the regime, put aside a huge amount of money just to buy and compromise our coordinators. That is their modus operandi. It has never stopped. I can guarantee you that even by the end of this event, the regime will have started, encircling people to compromise. I've seen them compromising some of our leaders, some of our former leaders. Of course, some we had already doubted them and relieved them of their duties. But the regime wants to put a narrative that all of us are buyable. I was even seeing a man that I used to respect, Mike Mukula, doing immoral things. Yes, you can buy the person, but you know as a leader that it is immoral and illegal for you to take over a registration book of a different political party. But Mike Mukula was proudly swinging his thumb with our register. Anyway, that's how immoral they are. I don't have to address them. I want to address you. Comrades, what the regime wants from you is not your support. All they want is your credibility. That is all they want from you. I'm very glad my unbelievably honest Deputy President told you that story. That's why Comrade Sassi was laughing. That's true. Because she was innocently thinking, she was called by Museveni when I was under house arrest and said, but you are an elder. Come, let's talk about that young man's release. All she wanted is a president to be out. So she said, yeah, if me talking to Museveni will cause him to behave like a mature man, why not? Thank God, she's always consulting. She couldn't call me because my phones were off. She called the SG. That's when the SG reminded her. She said, oh. So some of you might even be innocently convinced. And you say, oh, let me just listen to what they're saying. Like some people in Busoga were telling me that some of their leaders came to them and told them that they are going to see the president. And for them, they know one president. They weren't talking to you. Before long, they were before Mike Mukula. So be very cautious. All these people want is a picture with you, and that's it. All they want is your credibility. And you know what happens to all those people that sell out. Because this is not Chagulanyi's struggle. It is not a Rubongoya struggle. It is not a Senyonyi struggle. It is not a Kayemba struggle. It is a struggle of the oppressed people of Uganda. And when they see you selling out, you can imagine what they feel. I've told you many times that even if it's me, who you think people love so much, if I change my words, it would not take 24 hours, and they will be looking at me like Ofono Pondo. So please be true to the pain of the people, to the trust of the people. Trust is the most important thing that you have as a leader. And hope is the most valuable thing that you carry on behalf of your people. So imagine crushing that hope. Imagine what people would think of you. So comrades, this, I cannot overemphasize on that. But, I mean, you know that after they take your credibility, you won't have any difference from these, although rich, but people that have zero respect. The Mukulas of this world, the Nabanjas of this world, the Balams of this world, etc., etc., etc. Comrades, I've talked about this, I've talked about that, I've reminded you of how we are the embodiment of the aspirations of the people of Uganda. And you out there, we are charging you to go there and be the representation. You are NUP there. You are People Power there. You are Chagulanyi there. You are all of us there. Go there with full confidence. Because we are standing with you. You are representing us. We look at you very proudly. Don't undermine yourself. Don't think of yourself as any less. If you doubt, see how the regime is going to be fearing you in your so-called smallness. You might think you're a small man or woman, but the way the regime is going to be looking at you, the way the regime is going to be fearing you, but most importantly, the way the regime is going to be trying to befriend you and compromise you, that should tell you of how important you are. At this juncture, that I want to announce that we are soon going to be starting the phase 2 of our nationwide tour, and we are coming to you. We are coming to you not technologically, physically. Those in Mbale were coming to eat malewa. Those in Western Uganda were coming to eat shabwe. Those in Jinja were coming to eat maido. Those in Central Uganda, we are coming to you. Everywhere we are coming to you physically. So please go and set the ground. Go and make preparations. We are coming to turn that constituency upside down. We are coming to
Plan yaffe etandise oba program yaffe etandise. Tugenda kusooka tumale omwezi guno gonna nga turegisteringa members b'ekibiina. Tulina ba members already be twaregisteringa, naye tusazeewo okuddamu ne turegisteringa abalala. Tujabawo omuwendo bwe tuba tumaze eno phase, tujabawo omuwendo gwa members baffe bonna be tulina aba National Unity Platform. Tulina n'enteekateeka ey'okukola digital register. Abantu bonna be tuwandiisa babeere mu system yaffe eya teknologiya. So gwe mulimu gwe tubaddewo olunaku lwa leero. Olukiiko luno luleese ba registrar okuva mu constituencies 353 ez'eggwanga lyonna, districts 146 ez'eggwanga lyonna, ne sub-regions zonna ez'eggwanga. So bano abantu tubadde tubatendeka ennaku zino ebbiri, era tugenda basindika kati bagende batandike okukakalabya emirimu okulaba nga bawandiisa bamemba ba NUP. Then buli kaadi ya NUP ya nusu 10 zokka. Tetwagala omuntu yenna bamucharginge sente ezisuka mu nusu 10. Pozo oli bw'aba asazeewo ocontributing ekibiina, era ekyo nakyo ne kifuna receipt, sente ezo ne zisobola okujja mu terekero lyaffe. Tubasabye ekisooka baleme okweyingiza mu ntalo za bannabyabufuzi kubanga bano balina okukola n'abantu bonna. So gwe bwoba oli registrar wa constituency yaffe nga tulinayo abantu basatu baba n'abeegwanyiza ekifo, tetwagala obeere ku side y'omuntu omu oba omulala, twagala osavinga abantu bonna. Naye n'ekirala kye twogeddeko ffenna bano abantu regime nga bwe mmanyi egenda batuukirira egezeeko bagula, tubasabye tebakikola kubanga bonna be baze bagula first of all tebalina kye bajjamu. Naye n'ekirala sente ze bakozesa okugula abo abantu, ekisooka babawaako obuswazi ne babalimbalimba, tebagenda bawa endala naye tebabibawa byonna. Naye n'okusingira ne baali badde bazibawa sente zaamibwa omusolo zezaali badde zikola enguudo, zezaali badde zimakinga sure nti omuntu afuna akabenje afuna eddwaliro n'ebirala bwe bityo. So ebadde ensonga y'okubiri, naye esemberayo ddala kwekola n'amaanyi ne bamanya nti bino betulimu si byabufuzi bya bulijjo wabula tuli ku revolution. Era kyetugezaako okukola kyakulaba nga tuzimba struggle bano just kutuyambako mu organizinga, naye omulamu omukulu gwe tuliko gwa people power.
Mulabye omukolo tutongozeza tutongozza registrars zaffe era aba registrars n'abakulembeze baffe abalala focal persons tubasindise okugenda okuregisteringa bammemba b'ekibiina. Kino kikulu kubanga bwe tunaamaliriza phase eyo ate tugenda ku party structures nga already kakati bammemba tubamanyi be tulina mu registers zaffe abo be tujja otambulirako okuzimba party structures mu buli ngeri yonna. Abantu bano nga tubakwasa materials ogenda nazo okusookera ddala tubasabye babeere beesimbu, babeere abakulembeze abaddala. Obukulembeze kakati be bambasada b'ekibiina, be bambasada ba pulezidenti waffe eyo mu byalo gye bagenda okubeera, balina okweyisa obulungi. Abantu balabe nti bano abakulembeze baddala bajja kusobola otwala eggwanga lyaffe mu maaso bulungi era babeere beesimbu mu kwasaganya registers zaffe. Tubasabye babeere n'obuvumu, bagenda kutiisibwa, bajja gezaako okubagula nga muze mubiraba. Ono bamuguze simanya n'asala eddiiro ne registers zaffe naki. Tubasabye babeere beesimbu. Oli bw'aba alaba nti obuvunaanyizibwa buno bumuyitiriddeko register yaffe agikomyewo then agende side gy'ayagala okugenda, naye bajja kikola nnyo. Kati regime abantu bano ebe batagetinga nnyo okulaba nti ebagula abatagala kugulibwa bajja gezaako okubatiisatiisa, okubasiba naki, era nga twagala okuwooninga security outfits zonna ab'amagye, poliisi n'abalala mutambulire ku mateeka. Ffe tuli kibiina ekiwandiike ekikola emirimu gyakyo mu butuufu nga bwe kirina okubeera. Bano bakulembeze ba kibiina bagenda kujja mu byalo nga baregisteringa abantu, temwetantala nti ate mubakwata mubasiba mubakyankalanya. Obuvunaanyizibwa bwe bagendako bukkirizibwa mu ssemateeka yaffe, era tuwooninze omuntu yenna oba w'amagye oba wa poliisi aneetantala okukyankalanya abantu baffe bano oba kubakwata oba ki, tujjamu handolinga ye nga ye. Yes, ekitongole oba kya poliisi oba ky'amagye nakyo tujja kikwasaganya, naye bano abantu ssekinnoomu ng'okola ekikolwa kino eky'obumenyi bw'amateeka tujja kuhandolinga individually gwe nga ssekinnoomu mu mateeka ne mu ngeri endala zonna kubanga amateeka gatukkiriza okugenda ne tumobilizinga ne tukola ekyo tulina okukola ng'ekibiina. Era tulina essuubi mu bakulembeze baffe bano nti bajja kukola ekituufu, bajja kubeera mu bantu baffe bamobilizinge, baregisteringe bammemba. Era tusaba n'abantu abali eyo temutiisibwatiisibwa nti ate kakati boneewandiisa mu kitabo kya NUP tojja funa government services, simanya bajja kujja bakusibe, bajja kukola ki, tebabatiisatiisa. Oyo propaganda mugenda mulaba nnyo nga babakangakanga. Eno NRM bweyisa propaganda mbusimanya balina obukadde 18 mu registers zaabwe ate nga tebazibalaga, temwazirabako. Byakiyaaye si bituufu. Kati nga baagala otiisatiisa abantu eyo ba RDC, ba DISO, ab'amagye, aba poliisi naki, temukanga abantu bonna kubanga ssemateeka ekkiriza omuntu okugwa gy'ayagala okugwa oba ayagala kuwagira NUP dembe ye ogwo si musango. Katusuubire buli kimu kijja tambula bulungi.
Omusumba ye n'asaba n'agamba bagawugule gagende wakumuluma 13
gavumenti yatumukuzanira ku mitwe
era mbyagalira ne pulezidenti wange
betwasaba bajje batusabire tebakoze eki tebalabise.
Parliament is not a platform for business. It's a place where we talk about issues that concern the common person.
kabaka yazaala emiupi ab'emiupi ne basakanya kabaka yazala mara mtaa kabaka yazala pincha
nze ndowooza nti ekibiina kyetaaga mpuuga.
Basaala tunnyonnyola sente zo wazifuna.
Sente nzirinze.
Abamutuufu okkaayana ng'awulidde waliwo emiliyoni 5 ezitategeerekeka.
I had never seen them made into beggars. Senior citizen begging on their soldier.
Tugenda kwekalakasa paka kuliya.